Greetings, punks, goths, metalheads, herberts, herbetters, Martians and subterranean folk. How you all doing? My name's John and this is the Health Anarchist channel. Well, today we're in Saddleworth and we're in a beautiful part of the country just above the little village of Dell. And today we're going to be going on a little walk up to Castleshaw Roman Fort. So let's get going. Yeah! So the weather's fairly mild today. There's a little bit of a wind, but nothing too bad. And we're just going to cut across this field here with all the sheep in. So going back thousands of years, there was a Roman military presence in this part of the country. And this is one of the many little forts scattered around this area of the UK. Well, the remains of it, shall we say. Would have garrisoned about 480 auxiliary Roman soldiers at the time. Kind of strange to imagine Roman soldiers walking around this area, isn't it? But they definitely were. So next gap in the fence style here, and almost immediately behind it there's another stile to cross. So last time I came here I just kind of made my own way to the fort, which I wasn't that sure of, but today I've got some better directions off a lovely lady who I just met who was out with her family picking wimberries. Now wimberries are out now according to this lady, so if you're going to pick them, go out now. But she's just given me some great directions, so let's go and follow them. So I'm going to be following the excellent directions I got down this little track to a little lane where those houses are, if you can see. And I must say, what a beautiful landscape we're in. Absolutely gorgeous. What a wonderful place to come and get lost in for a couple of hours. And you know, all relatively close to Manchester city centre, or Greater Manchester I should say. So up until now this walk has all been uphill. I mean, it's not been terrible, but easy going, but constant. And we're going to be going downhill now, which I'm a lot more happy about. So what I remember of this walk is there's some lovely old historic houses or cottages. So if you're not from this part of the UK, you're in for a treat, because we're going to be going right past them. See that there? It's the old gallows post where they used to hang multiple people at once. Only joking, yeah, that's just my dark imagination. It's just like a gatepost thing, really. Be good if it was a gallows though, wouldn't it?
Plunge to the left, so feel the pleasures of no regret. Don't drink the mainstream waters flow, the sweetest nectars where apples grow. Don't be afraid now, I'm not what you've been told. Don't be afraid now, just let the old self.
I think these old stone window frames are called mullion windows, I think, but they're very old. A lot of these cottages around here, they were all linked to the wool industry and cotton industry. Beautiful. I think this is my favourite one coming up. Absolutely gorgeous. It's very old, doesn't it? Look at the windows. Beautiful. So we've been on a nice track and pavement for quite a while now, and we're going to leave it soon and go onto rougher tracks for a while again as we get to Castleshaw Reservoir. then the Roman fort's not far from there. Over a stream here. Now there is a lot of water in this area, hence you having reservoirs here. And the Romans, they would always place their forts near a water source. Now, very iron rich the area as well. Have a look down, you see there's a lot of that orangey ochre deposit, and I wonder if that was another reason they based the fort here. So it's basically just following this footpath now for a while. So as I was saying early on, this Roman fort was originally to house about 480 men, which is a cohort, which is a number of men which the auxiliary units used. Now further along the line, they reduced this fort into a smaller fortlet, housing only about 80 men. So they think it might have been to do with policing the roads in the area possibly, or just some little lookout post, I don't know. But it's interesting that they reduced it. Maybe there was no longer a significant threat in the area, or they needed the troops elsewhere, I don't know. But it's interesting nevertheless.
What others want is not who you are. It can hurt you to play that part. You've got to follow the things you love. It will take courage, but that's to be real.
So, Castleshaw Reservoir. Right, just this final little gate now, then up a little hill and we should be there. Right, so here we have the remains of Castleshaw Roman Fort. So we've got a nice information board here. I'll just read through some of that briefly with you. Now it says Castleshaw Roman Forts because, as I said earlier, it was reduced into a smaller fort at some point, guarding the edge of the empire. Nearly 2,000 years ago, this bleak hillside echoed to the call of trumpets and the tramp of soldiers' feet. The Roman army built 2 successive forts on this prominent hill. It was a good position, with clear views up and down the valley. In time, a small civilian settlement grew up here too. The forts and settlement were abandoned when strategic priorities changed. These remains bear witness to the area's turbulent past at the edge of the Roman Empire. The Northern Offensive. By the middle of the 1st century, the Romans controlled southern Britain, but in the north, their relations with local tribes, the Brigantes, marked by uneasy alliances, rebellions and punitive raids. In AD 79, under a new hardline governor called Agricola, they focused their military might on crushing resistance in northern Britain. The impression here of one of the auxiliary soldiers. The auxiliaries were not Roman citizens but were recruited from the imperial provinces, I think. And just ahead of me where those ditches and bumps are, that's the actual reduced fortlet, so we're going to go over into there. So we're just coming up to the fortlet and you should be able to see the area of the little square fortlet much easier now, and it really was quite small, and even 18 men would have been pretty crowded in my opinion, but then again I like lots of space. And luckily today I can actually see the outlines of where some of the buildings were, which is great because I've not noticed this before. So can you see these squares on the floor? These were where the foundations of some of the buildings were inside the fortlet. One would have been a barracks to house the soldiers. Pretty nice. So we got some more information here. It's actually 500 men they reckon, not 480, which I said. And the Roman soldiers drafted in here was from an area covering modern day Austria and Hungary and Slovenia. So we have some more information boards. So what I'm going to do, instead of reading the whole thing to you, I'm going to take some photos, and you can pause it if you want to read it. But there's a nice artist's impression of how the fort would have looked.
You can be whoever you want to be. Let go of your old life and set yourself free. You can be whoever you want to be. Let go of your old life and set yourself free.
So today, as you can see, it's just turf mounds that are the remains of the fort, but you can see a little corner we're coming up to here. You can still make it out. I mean, it is like 2,000 years old, so I'm just going to sit down and have a little break for a while now. I've done all the climbing on the way here. On the way back, it's all easy downhill and flat. But what I do love about walks like this is it's always nice to have a goal on your walk, or a place of interest to visit. It's what helped me get into walking, and you know, walking on history walks is my very, very favourite type of walk to go on. Apart from history, I do love going on nature walks. I like seeing wildlife, and you know. So I'm going to get off this hill and out of the wind now. One thing I've noticed whenever I come here, it's always very windy. So I imagine the auxiliary soldiers who man these forts, if they were from hotter climates, I imagine they really suffered here, especially in the winter. I bet it was bitterly cold. Before he goes, there was a couple of local historians in this area. I think it was in the 70s or 80s, but I might be wrong. It might be more recent. But anyway, they were trying to work out where the Roman road went in this area. And it was very near to Castleshaw Roman fort. And there was a farmer in his field, and he said to them, he overheard them talking about where the Roman road should be, and he said it's over there to a flooded area of his field. So the historian said, how do you know it was there? And the old farmer goes, because I've seen them marching through it. But anyway, these historians came back at a later date and they did some surveys, and they found that in fact the Roman road did pass through the very area of the flooded field that the farmer pointed out. So I noticed I've got quite a few new subscribers lately, so cheers guys and welcome aboard. And for all you guys who've been subscribed now for a while, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the support. And if you're watching this video today, please give it a like and a subscribe. It really helps support the channel. So anyway, I'm just following this old country lane now, and I'm gonna come up to the Castleshaw Centre soon, which is like a youth hostel type place, I think. And I should be able to pick up a public footpath across some fields there, and that should take me back to the walk's beginning. And I actually come out at a pub called the White Lion, because as all good walks should end, this one ends at a pub. So here's the Castleshaw Centre here, so I think we can get through here. Yeah, it's a little gate. So it's just a pretty pleasant walk back now, across little tracks through fields, and I come out at the White Lion pub, where I think I shall get a pint of nice crisp cider before heading home. But I'm going to wrap this video up now. So thanks for coming along with me, and until the next video, don't forget, be different, stay weird and stay free. Bye.